Hey guys, and welcome to a special holiday edition of Thrift Flip. Sorry if I sound kind of congested right now. I am very sick and drugged up on cough syrup, but not in a fun way. Today, I'm gonna be making my New Year's dress. Do I have New Year's plans? No, I do not. But if Hollywood has taught me anything, it's that if you look pretty and wish for it hard enough, anything can happen. Here is the dress that I'm going to be working with today. It is this sparkly dress in the New Year's spirit. I thrifted this a couple months ago in the fall, and I will link the thrift haul that I hauled it in above because self-promotion is a thing you're supposed to do to be better at YouTube. So I suppose I would just try this on now and show you guys what I'm thinking of doing with it. So the first and main thing that I want to change about this dress is this neckline, which I feel like isn't that flattering and looks kind of outdated. So what I want to do is turn it into a straight across neckline, one of those kind of low straight necklines with the spaghetti straps towards the end. That's very like Kendall Jenner / 90s throwback. I would just turn the entire thing into a plain straight across neckline, but my one concern is that because of this halter back, there might not be enough of these spaghetti straps to make it all the way around my shoulders. So in that case, I do have this black satin tie that came off another shirt that I donated a long time ago, and I might just sew that on and make little bows on the shoulder, which I think could also be really cute. Y'all know me and my scandalously short skirts. I think when I do the neckline, it's gonna make the whole dress a little bit shorter as well, but I would love if it just ended like an inch or two higher than it does right now. Honestly, New Year's is no time to start being conservative. So with that, let's get cutting and sewing. And why am I doing this? I don't know.
Okay, so the first step is to cut off the hanger straps because honestly nobody invited them to begin with. Next, I took a closer look at the top of the dress and noticed that it had this fancy little double lining / hem action going on, but I realized that my sewing skills aren't nearly advanced enough to actually recreate that, so I'm just gonna sew this neckline like normal. I started by turning the dress inside out and then realizing that it needed to be more inside out than that. I literally have 5 minutes of footage of me fucking around trying to get this thing like 3 layers of inside out and backwards so that the dress as a whole and the lining were both inside out, if that makes sense. Oh, okay, there we go. Now it looks like this slightly uncomfortable lump. Noting that this looked a little difficult to work with, I trimmed out the lining and separated it from the sequin layer, which also came with the fun realization that there was actually no point in turning this thing inside out to begin with. I cleaned up the cut on this lining, which right now looks like Edward Scissorhands came and did a thing to it, to create a straight across neckline and repeated that on the outer sequin layer. A fun bonus with cutting sequins is that you get these little sequin shards all over the place. My mom actually walked in at this point and immediately assumed that all the sequins were just a shit ton of chocolate bits I'd left on my desk, and that is pretty much a summary of how my life is going right now. Things are great. Next, I lined up the lining and the sequin fabric right sides together and then pinned them together across the neckline. Before I sewed that all together, I went to work on the straps of the dress. For the straps, I brought in that black satin tie from the old top that I had mentioned earlier, since I thought the satin would complement the sequin texture pretty well. Luckily, it was just long enough to make 4 little strap sections, 2 for each shoulder so they could tie together at the top. Cutting up the whole tie left me with 2 unfinished edges, so I just sewed those up. There you go, 4 identical strap things. I also folded the end into thirds and ironed it there, so when I attached it to the dress, the straps wouldn't be quite so thick. I apologize that the footage for this next part is kind of shitty, since making sure I attached the straps in the right order and position pretty much took all of my brain power. But as you may be able to see here, I'm basically inserting the strap between the lining and sequin fabric and pinning it in place. Now for the main event, sewing it all together. During this process, I had a sinking feeling that I definitely fucked up somewhere along the process, since this is pretty much the most complicated thing I've ever sewn. I gave it a quick iron for good measure, since if there's anything I've learned in my years of sewing, it's that a good iron can cover up any number of sins. But when I turned this dress back right side out, it actually looked pretty good, if I may say so myself. At least one thing turned out right in 2017. Here's an idea of how I'd style it for all those New Year's parties that I haven't been invited to yet. Yes, this is very extra, but welcome to fashion on the internet. But yeah, overall, I really like how it turned out. I think it's a lot more unique in my style than the original dress, and kind of looks like something you'd find at Urban Outfitters or maybe even Reformation, if I'm gonna flatter myself. Okay, and that is all I have for you guys. Sorry I don't have a proper outro filmed, but regardless, I hope that you guys have a wonderful new year. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel for new fashion and thrifting videos every single Thursday.